Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you this show live, daily, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Mustion. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone here on the Splash Live, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen and fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and some reasons why you think they should be recognized here on the Splash Live for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. The first event we want to look at is the West Bloomfield Township Public Library virtual events. The West Bloomfield Township Public Library is hosting a ton of fun and educational events for residents in West Bloomfield and all age groups. Although all of their events for this week have wrapped up, you can begin registering for the great events that they have next week on their website at wblib.org. Something that is ongoing at the library is your ability to rent out those great literacy and tender topic kits to help your child with their literacy skills and ways to learn about tough topics that are happening in our community. If you're interested in renting out a kit of your choice, you can do so by stopping into the library or calling the Youth Services Desk to reserve a kit of your choice. The next event we want to look at is the West Bloomfield Parks Garage Sale. Join West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation as they aim to reduce waste in the community. They're hosting their community garage sale this Saturday, April 30th from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m., where you can shop locally and find repurposed items at the Recreation Community Center. West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation asks that you bring both cash and your credit card with you to help pay for your items, as some items may only be bought with cash. For more information, you can contact WB Parks and Recreation on their website at wbparks.org. The last event we want to look at is the Sylvan Lake Swap and Sale. If you're looking to sell or donate your outgrown or unwanted items, Sylvan Lake is hosting their first annual Sylvan Summer Swap and Sale on May 1st from 11 to 4 p.m. Here you can bring your items such as kayaks, beach games, lake gear, and other summer-related objects to either donate, sell, or swap with a neighbor. Check-in for all of the items starts at 8 a.m. and will go until 10 a.m., and the actual sale and swapping of items will begin at 11. If you have any questions about this event, you can contact Missy Markham at 248-480-6080. If you have an event that you would like us to feature here on the Splash Live, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, I'll be talking with Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. But before that, last month, West Bloomfield High School had a very special visitor come to talk to their theater cast and crew for Big Fish that the students are putting on for their spring musical this weekend. Bobby Steggert, who is in the original production of Big Fish on Broadway, came to speak to the students about the musical and what it means to them. Let's go check it out now. West Bloomfield High School got a little taste of Broadway with an exciting visit from Bobby Steggert, who starred in Big Fish as one of the main characters, Will. The West Bloomfield High School students are set to put on the musical Big Fish in late April and have been rehearsing and practicing to show off their skills to the Big Fish's original star. Bobby came to watch the cast put on a few of the musical numbers that they have been working on, while also giving them some advice on the musical and what it means to be performing to their audience.
No, it was really inspiring to see you guys. I mean, one thing that is really special about this show is that every one of Edward's songs or stories has a real purpose, right? So, like, what would you guys say the purpose of telling Will this story is? You know, what is Edward's message in this specific story?
To be his own hero.
Totally. And what does that mean?
Like, I'm trying to think about it. It's like having, instead of like looking up fairy tales, he can create his own type of fairy tale.
Sure. And so I ask all these questions because I guess I want to make the point that you're all so important to Edward's stories, right? You populate and become the very important characters in all of the stories. And so the message of the song is applicable to each of you as performers. You know, this is a chance for all of you to be the hero in your own performance of this show. And you are all just as important as Will, and just as important as Edward, and just as important as any of the lead characters, you know? There's another thing that he says in this particular song, which I think is really important. He says, the most important thing about a story is the people you meet along the way, right? And especially after 2 years being isolated, what a gift it is for you guys all to be together in the same room.
Bobby also talked about how the meanings of the songs in Big Fish are applicable to the students and gave them advice on how to embrace the deeper meaning of these songs in order to portray them with heart to their audience.
Totally. So your job is to love, and to love, again, with all of your spirit, the fullness of yourself. And that will, get you where Ms. Hauck wants you to get, which is ending the first act in a big climactic way that will make the audience want to see the rest of the show, want to come back for the second act. So it's a big responsibility.
With all the great advice Bobby gave to the cast and crew of West Bloomfield High School's production of Big Fish, this show will be a must-see for anyone in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Make sure to get your tickets and check out Big Fish April 28th through the 30th at West Bloomfield High School. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Maddie Mustion. The West Bloomfield High School spring musical Big Fish is a must-see, and the students will be putting on the show this weekend, starting yesterday, and will go through April 30th. So make sure to contact the school to get your tickets, or you can buy them at the door to see all the wonderful actors and actresses. Later on, we'll be taking a look at our Person of the Week, who dedicated to changing the fitness lives of her clients in Greater West Bloomfield. But before that, I'll be talking with Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Mustion. Joining us now to talk about business and some issues that might be facing here in the Greater West Bloomfield community and her advice for those owners who are struggling is Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Suzanne, thank you so much for joining us again this morning.
Thank you for having me. Every time I hear that splash of water, I feel like I need a towel.
So, Suzanne, you are very involved with all the businesses here in Greater West Bloomfield. We talked about a little bit of advice for startups. We've talked about some marketing tips for people. But for those businesses that are struggling right now, and obviously coming out of the pandemic, a lot of businesses here in Greater West Bloomfield are struggling. Could you share with us some of the problems that you have seen in our community and how they have been able to mend themselves?
Yes, well, we know the pandemic has created quite a few different problems for businesses. And one that we have found is really prevalent and very difficult to solve right now is labor shortage. Last night, I was invited to Bush's VIP grand opening. They're having a ribbon cutting today at 11 a.m., so the entire community is invited. But one of their major issues is trying to find help to staff their new, beautifully renovated facility. And one of the suggestions that I've been making to a lot of our businesses is they should start looking to older but wiser, people to start staffing. I know there was a trend like 10, 15 years ago to try to, move older people out and bring newer people in. But I've noticed that there's a lot of seniors that are still very vibrant, and maybe they just want to work part-time. They don't need the health benefits. They just want something to contribute. And they're reliable. They don't have, to worry about daycare for their kids. So I've been suggesting that they sort of reach out to some of the independent communities where these seniors live and, try to get them to come back to work, even part-time. And I think it would, solve some of the labor shortage right now.
And Suzanne, another one of those problems that businesses seem to be having, especially because of the pandemic, is the supply chain issues that some businesses have been having. And combine that with the inflation prices and the supply chain problems that our businesses are having. Have you seen any of those issues in our community? And if so, how have you seen solutions been able to come about?
Yes, there's quite a bit of that, especially in, the supermarket grocery avenue. And they've been having a very tough time. I think they just need to put a lot of pressure on our legislators to try to figure out how to solve this, whether it's, these supplies are stuck out in the middle of the ocean or they don't have workers, to unload them at the docks. And I heard a little bit of a frightening prospect to me is that they are really looking to have, robots or, self-driving trucks because they don't have enough truck drivers, which to me is a little bit of a scary proposition. But yeah, we need to find a way to get the goods from, where the ports to the grocery stores. They were telling me last night they have a difficulty in getting cat food. They haven't been able to get cat food for 9 months. I know there's a formula shortage. I'm not really sure why these different, bizarre kind of food shortages are happening. And maybe the other thing is trying to reopen our manufacturing so that we're never dependent on another country again, to supply. We have more than enough supplies in our country, and we need to really start figuring out ways to distribute them to everyone.
And Suzanne, another problem that has come about in our businesses are some of those issues with smaller businesses maybe being not looked to as much as some of those bigger corporations like a Target or an Amazon. Have you seen some issues with that in our Greater West Bloomfield community, especially with those small businesses, those family-owned restaurants, and how have you seen them able to fix those problems and maybe market to the community and see that they need help?
Well, I've noticed that unfortunately, a lot of the small family-owned businesses have curtailed their hours because they just cannot handle, the volume of people that now want to go out or carry out. The other problem before was that they were closed. Now that they're reopened, people are going back out, but they don't have the manpower. And so rather than, have angry customers because, one waitress can't service an entire restaurant, they're shutting down much earlier. So this is, a huge problem. I know that they've been trying to offer more money, but with that more money to pay, the staff means that, prices are going to rise in the restaurants. And I think it's really incumbent upon everyone to try to support these small businesses. I know that even if I don't get good service at a restaurant, I still give 20% because I want to keep that server there. So it's very problematic, and trying to help these small businesses strategize how they can either attract more help or how they can attract more customers. It is an interesting problem that we're all trying to work on because small businesses are definitely the backbone of our community, and we all want them to thrive and hopefully survive.
And Suzanne, if there are business owners in our community who are still struggling with those problems such as understaffing or some of those supply chain issues, is there any resources at the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce that they are able to take advantage of once they become a member there?
Yes, we have job postings, and I always direct them to Oakland County because they have a lot more resources to try to help them. I know there are job fairs, and they should definitely participate in those. I know that there's been some issues with people pretending to apply for jobs so they can continue their unemployment benefits. And I think there's a way that we need to figure out to work with our government to allow people to retain part of their benefits and still work, because this is a huge problem, and it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. I've heard some alarming statistics from some of the people that work in the grocery stores that we're going to see 50% less stock and 50% more pricing. So this is something that's going to affect everyone. And I think, we really need to all come together to, put some pressure on our legislators to help us find a solution, so that this doesn't become the new normal.
And Suzanne, as we wrap up here, is there anything else that you want to share, either about some of those tips for businesses here that are struggling, or some of those events that are coming up for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce?
Well, what I love doing is sort of this business matchmaking and trying to figure out great partnerships with different industries. When we just had a ribbon cutting for Evolve Body Sculpting, and I connected them with the Lash Lounge, because people that are interested in the way they look might be also interested in Profile by Sanford, nutrition guidance, or our Gazelle Health. She's a fitness instructor. So trying to make these different unique partnerships so that maybe they can refer to one another. We have a lot of upcoming events. The one today at 11 a.m. at Bush's is a ribbon cutting, and I know they'll be giving out some gift bags. So if people like free swag, they should definitely come. June 8th is our health fair at the Township. We're very grateful to the Township and to Civic Center TV for covering this for us and our partners in that event, Beaumont and Direct Hearing. July 20th, we have a great multi-chamber event at the Showcase Collection, Suburban Collection in Novi. So check out our website, westbloomfieldchamber.com. Contact me at 248-626-3636 or email me at wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com. And I'm happy to help direct you, even if you're not a chamber member, to some resources to help your business.
Well, Suzanne, it's always a pleasure having you here on the Splash Live with us on Friday mornings. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
And thank you for wherever life takes you. I know that you're going to be very successful. It has been an honor and a privilege to be working with you.
Thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate it. Once again, I was joined by the Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Levine, talking about some of those issues that businesses are having in our community and how they can find solutions through the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Our person of the week this week is someone who is improving the lives of residents in Greater West Bloomfield through helping them with their health and nutrition. Gail Taub gives advice and tips each week here on the Splash Live about health and wellness and exercise to give our viewers helpful information. Let's go check out all of the reasons why we named Gail Taub our person of the week. Our person of the week this week is someone who frequently joins us on the Splash Live to talk about health and wellness in our Greater West Bloomfield community. Gail Taub, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and owner of Gazelle Health, shares her passion for fitness and nutrition with our viewers each week. After struggling with her own fitness journey, Gail started her company to help others like her who need guidance to find what is right for them.
So after about 27 years in business, corporate America, I decided to leave that kind of my career behind. And about 12 years ago, I got my own health and wellness under control. I made a lot of big changes, and I realized that there was an opportunity to help people, but maybe a little differently than what is currently out there. So instead of kind of going the route of helping people to know what to do by telling them what to do, what to eat, what is good for them, how to lose a pound, how to feel healthy in a way that makes sense for them, I went the route of coaching. And so really from the perspective of health and wellness, everybody's needs are different, and I'm qualified and certified to help in any way that that is necessary for that person. And the ultimate goal is really to have them be autonomous.
Gail's passion for helping others is evident in the ways that she works with her clients to understand what type of guidance they need.
She prides herself in having genuine conversations with her clients to find the perfect personalized plan that will make them feel confident in their fitness routine. Gail also gives her time freely and talks with us each week on the Splash Live about health and wellness topics such as fueling your body for a workout and how to find the facts about working out that give our viewers necessary information. Gail's drive to help others like her who are struggling to find confidence in working out makes an impact in the lives of those she works with. Through her work with people that need help to get their health in check and are looking for an expert to guide them in their journey, Gail is changing the lives of those around her. Gail's care for her clients and generous giving of her time to talk with us each week on the Splash Live is why we named Gail Taub our Person of the Week.
Thank you again to Gail Taub for all the work that she does in our community to help her clients with their health and fitness journey, as well as joining us here every week on the Splash Live to give us that great information. Joining us now to talk about all the things that they have about the updated spring and summer menu, as well as their new brunch feature at Sylvan Table, is the head chef at Sylvan Table, Chef Chris Godalka. Chef Chris, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
So can you start talking about the brunch menu? What inspired you guys at Sylvan Table to begin serving brunch? And then can you tell us a little bit about some of the features on the menu?
Yeah, absolutely. So brunch was a decision that we had made prior to opening. It made sense for the area. There are a number of great brunch restaurants in the area, and at any point in time, they're always packed. So because we, are going with a more seasonal farm-to-table approach, we wanted to be able to bring something to what the other restaurants offered as well as what we're capable of doing. We looked at a weekends-only approach instead of going 7 days a week. That way we can, highlight it for the fun aspect that it can be, and really make sure that when we put everything out, it's perfect for the weekend, experience for brunch. So just like our regular menu, which is constantly rotating, our brunch menu will rotate in the same way based on season, everything fresh or everything made in house. We currently started out, and, to be honest, we started out at a difficult time for actual harvest. It's April right now, and it's finally starting to feel like spring after like 7th winter. But, there's only a couple items that are really coming up that are growing for harvest or growing for foraging. And we're having to, to start out by using many of the items that we started by fermenting or curing or holding in that way. So, we have a really great duck hash on the menu right now. It's our sardellase potato and duck hash. We have a great rhubarb Dutch baby because rhubarb has just come into season, and we're able to take advantage of that and get something fruity on the menu finally, which, over Michigan winters, there's nothing that's really coming up for that. A wonderful French toast. We do a house-made yogurt with some dried berries that we've held from our last year berry harvest. 2 different types of house-made bacon, traditional pork bacon and a lamb bacon. So we're taking the bellies off of a lamb and curing those slightly differently, but allowing that lamb flavor to come out, which so many people have never tried or never thought that, you can get bacon from different animals, as well as a variety of fresh baked breads. A really nice Michigan smoked tart, which is similar to like a quiche, but with trout. The standard 2-egg classic, that if you're going to brunch, most everybody, that's what they want. They want their 2 eggs, they want their meat, they want, some really great home fries or hash browns. We're doing home fries right now. At some point in the future, we'll change over to hash browns, and items like that. Something kind of unique because we're just getting into our whole animal butchery program, where we're utilizing absolutely everything we possibly can to have zero waste. We have a wonderful lamb burger on the menu with a blueberry barbecue sauce and a fresh made brioche roll, and that has been tremendously, popular. But no, it's been great, and we've been open for about 3 weeks now, or 3 weekends on brunch, and the reception is just getting better every weekend, and it's been a wonderful experience so far. Just the same as opening the restaurant and warmth we've received from the local community, all the way through. So it's been really awesome.
And then Chef Chris, looking at their main menu for dinner that you guys have there at Sylvan Table, obviously there are a ton of great things that are always rotating on the menu. But right now for the spring and summer menu, what is one or two of the most popular dishes that you guys are serving right now?
So our most popular dishes that we're serving right now are lamb. We have a lamb Scordalia, which is 2 different cuts of lamb. So we have the steak cut, and then we have a roasted or confit cut, which is usually the leg or the shoulder that are a little tougher, and we take a longer time to cook those so that they're really, really tender, similar to like when somebody gets a short rib or something like that, and it just, you can cut it with your fork. And then the steak cut, which, speaks to exactly that. It's on our wood fire grill, it gets smoky, just has that nice chew to it. And then we're serving it with a Scordalia, which is similar to garlic toum, in the Mediterranean country. This is a Greek version of it, where it's the suspension of the garlic and oil is held with potato. And it pairs really well with the dish. We put some English peas with it, and it's become exceptionally popular. We just brought the deckle steak back. We're serving that with some sweet grilled rhubarb, so it's a little sweet and a little sour, with some fresh mustard seed, and then some mashed rapini, which is little baby broccoli that are a little bit bitter, but we add a little cream, so it's that bitter, sweet, sour, and then it just really cuts all of the unctuousness from the steak. So, I mean, those are our 2 most popular ones, but I'll tell you the truth, we are ecstatic right now because fiddlehead fern season is just starting. Ramp season is, we just did our first wild forage harvest for it this year. And hop shoots, which I don't believe anybody else in the state is serving. Those are all coming in the next week to 2 weeks, and we're looking forward to have those on the menu. It's some of the bounty that Michigan can provide that, people don't necessarily think about having. And a lot of restaurants, when they get it, they're focusing on it well after the season, and kind of extending it into areas where, I've seen ramps in the middle of summer, and really, it's now for the next week and a half that you can forage them, and they'll hold for about 2 to 3 weeks. They have a good longevity on the whole time, but you don't really want to get past May and continue to have them unless you're going to ferment them or pickle them or something like that. And it's exciting to be able to serve absolutely just picked fresh food to where you can still get all the essence of it, the aroma, everything off of it. And it just, it's really kind of invigorating and fun to, watch our guests experience that.
Well, Chef Chris, as we wrap up here, will you give us those hours for the new brunch service that you guys are having?
Absolutely. So our brunch on the weekends goes from 9 until 1, both Saturday and Sunday, with the exception of Mother's Day, which is reservation. Every other day is first come, first serve seating. You can call our number, 248-369-3360, if you are interested to see if there's a wait, and you can get on the wait list at that point, or just stop in. Our patio will be opening for the summer season very soon, and then once the patio's open, it's open. And it's been pretty sweet. So thank you so much for having us on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, Chef Chris. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, same. Thank you.
Once again, I was joined by the head chef at Sylvan Table, Chef Chris Scordalia, telling us about their new brunch service that they're having, as well as their great seasonal summer and spring items that they have on their menu. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you again to Suzanne Levine and Chef Chris Scordalia for joining us this morning on the Splash Live. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a huge thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator and director, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the people and events in our Greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T Channel 99, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. to catch up on what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. You can also watch all of our live and archived content on CivicCenterTV.com. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Kego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mustion. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.